Good afternoon, everyone. The coolest story I've seen all week. Same with the U.S. I'm in that really cold part in Tennessee. England on tap, January 21st. Solar synoptic analysis. Because when the sun steps down in this activity and the price of farm inputs increases this fast, you might want to think about pea cycling. Produces 4 times the amount of tomatoes. You just need wood ash. Buffett indicator. Oh, I should have gotten out December 22nd. Scientists almost certain 2021 will rank among the top 10 warmest on record. So at least we got that going for us. A newly discovered software flaw is possibly the most critical vulnerability in the last decade for anybody with an internet-connected device. This software vulnerability grants hackers, spies, criminals easy access to customer data off of countless enterprise-level websites. Your privacy is in your hands. That's why I use Virtual Shield when I connect to the internet. It helps protect my online data from my mobile carrier, internet service provider, and data mining companies. You can head over to virtualshield.com, and in the download tab, I'm going to choose Firefox. And click Install Now to add the Virtual Shield add-on. It's just that easy. And get started with your free 30-day trial. Install it, click Connect. You'll see the shield turn from red to green. And you'll see how from my initial service provider, I was able to even change my IP. Virtual Shield Network protected. I've partnered with Virtual Shield to give the Adapt 2030 audience 50% off for life and a free 30-day trial of Virtual Shield's VPN. Go to virtualshield.com/Adapt 2030 or click on the link in the description box below to start your free trial today. And now on with the video. And as I said in the beginning, the coolest story of the week. Ship cargo encased in ice. Right off Electroverse here. Not often you see something like this. Not really a ship hand, but that looks a little strange for me, how everything's encased in ice and the whole ship's encrusted in ice. From Japan to Vladivostok in Russia. That heavy sea fog that you see in front of the vessel creates ice crystals that keep coming layer after layer, engulfing the ship. Pretty thick, and then you get the sea salt, snow, sleet, and everything else on top of that. So in this day and age, you think you'll have to pay an extra fee to have that vehicle delivered? Staying on the cold, Arctic cold, javelin thrust way down into the southeast. Out here in East Tennessee, expecting 17 down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Chilly, but not the all-time record lows. -4 degrees below zero was the all-time record. Still quite a substantial difference in that, even though it's considered extremely cold. Then up in Virginia, I'm sure you've seen all the stories about this. See, these cold events in the grand solar minimum and weakening magnetic field on the planet, allowing jet streams and cloud cells to move into different positions. Now it's starting to happen over major metropolitan areas. This has been going on for a couple of years, but it'll be at a ski resort. It'll be way out in the countryside. It'll be up in a forest somewhere. It'll be in northern Canada, northern Russia, down in the Antarctic. But now, square into the middle of our cities. We already see supply chains. But now on top of this, when this becomes the norm, winter is going to be a little more self-sufficient, I think. Looking down there at England, January 21st, well, it's actually all the British Isles. Chilly, about maybe 20 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit below the normal. Windy as well. I saw a whipping scorpion tail type storm below that. Look at the sunspot progression. Solar cycle 25 ramping up, but we'll see if it gets closer to that peak in red or stays 75 and below. Average for the cycle. Solar synoptic analysis. Old school pen and paper, compare that to satellite. The Maunder minimum and the Dalton minimum were done paper style. And with all the satellite measurements around the world to disperse through front pages across continents, scientists almost certain 2021 will rank among the top 10 warmest on record. Not the first, or even the second top 10 warmest. The never-ending onslaught of global taxes. If that were to be passed, now you add in the cost of fertilizer and farm inputs. That one really does look like the Loch Ness Monster. And the chemical fertilizer on this chart that you're going to immediately start hearing about in your news feeds as fast as the beginning of February, anhydrous. Look for it in the news. It's going to go short. Urea prices tripling because farmers are going to be getting their implements together in February, and it's not going to be too long until word makes it onto the street about what's going on the farms and the food price increases. Fertilizer, well, how about you and I in our gardens? Pea cycling. This comes from National Geographic. The concept is simple. Use wood ash, so you have a fire, bonfire, whatever it is, clearing some brush, but get all that wood ash into a pile. And every time you have to number one into the fertilizer, because there's a catalyst that happens that turns it into an inexpensive, potent, and clean fertilizer with the outcome of that gray wood ash and yellow water. 4 times the tomatoes. You'll have to do a little more research on your own. And this will be the direction to start thinking as we become more self-sufficient. Because Buffett indicator, yes, should have sold on the 22nd. Buffett indicator, 2 standard deviations above the historical trend line triggers a massive flip in the market, apparently to this Buffett indicator. To put it into perspective, the fertilizer shortages that are happening across the farming industry at the moment, if prices were to rise into a 3 sigma event, you see how volatile this is going to do to the world economy. Trip it over on a 2 standard deviations. What about 3 standard deviations? That's where we are with the price rises in fertilizers at the moment. And this last Tartarian nugget for you, sent from Australia, coming from the national news. And yes, I did find it very interesting. That's why I'm putting in the video. This image, 1901, 1902, an illustration of what the capitals, Canberra's capital, Lake George location might have looked like. Familiar architecture? In 1901, the Canberra, Lake George area was selected as a possible location for the Australian capital. Flowing waters surrounding the buildings like Venice. Unfortunately, there was a drought in 1902. The waters of Lake George disappeared, so they destroyed everything. Capital was moved to its current location in Canberra. P.S. The Queen Victoria building in Sydney and other buildings have also been connected to this white marbled, similar looking architecture that spanned the entire planet and originated in a place, Tartaria. Wishing you all the best for 2022. Thank you very much for sending that image to me. And to add a last fact, the last 3 years, it's been really incredibly low water at Lake George. And if you like this type of content, please join me over at Mini Ice Age Conversations podcast. Up to episode 313, talking about the hydrogen economy. Anywhere podcasts are hosted across the net. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.